Hello, Empowered Warriors. Welcome to episode 40. In this episode, I'm going to examine what specifically the F in the word FIRE stands for in the Reclaim Your F.I.R.E method, which is my unique way and my unique system that I use to work with clients. So many of you have expressed curiosity on what Reclaim Your F.I.R.E means, and I've given some hints along the way about what it means, but in this next 4 episodes, this is actually part of a series. I'm going to dive a little deeper into what the F, the I, the R, and the E stand for in FIRE. So if you're curious and you want to know more about the F, which stands for financial abundance, stay tuned. Welcome to the Empowered Warrior podcast. My name is Angela Noel, and I am an intuitive coach, acupuncturist, and Chinese herbalist. This podcast is all about empowerment, meaning how you can maintain your personal power in order to have the best life beyond your imagination. An empowered warrior is someone who has the identity of a person who is healthy, radiant, and free from all suffering, and has the tools ready and available to move through life's obstacles with confidence, ease, and a sense of freedom. In this podcast, I bring over 16 years experience in Chinese medicine, countless years of self-development, and a passion for helping others find their personal power. I will be discussing just a few of my favorite topics regarding health from a Chinese medicine perspective, brain habits, and spirituality, so that you can quickly pave your pathway to freedom and be free from the chains that have kept you stuck. My intention with this podcast is to serve as a guide for warriors who want to form a healthy foundation of body, mind, and spirit, and sustain it by changing who they are being from the inside and having a stronger connection to their higher selves. My goal is to help students end the unnecessary suffering that they place on themselves by having poor health habits, negative thought loops, and a lack of self-worth. I am so happy that you're here. Hello, Empowered Warriors. How are you? I hope that this podcast episode finds you well. I feel like I'm writing an email or sending out a greeting card. I hope this message finds you well. I hope that this greeting finds you well. And truly, I hope that you are all doing well out there and you're healthy, you're happy, and that you are living as much as in alignment as you possibly can. And I am really excited because I'm starting this little mini series of podcast episodes. And the reason why is because I feel this need and I feel called to talk more frequently and openly about Reclaim Your F.I.R.E. Reclaim Your F.I.R.E. because, as you probably already know, we all have that fire within us, don't we? We all have that fire within us that really wants to come out. And if it's not coming out and being expressed, we get shit that comes up into our lives, don't we? So physical symptoms, depression, anxiety, judging other people, all the ickiness of the human experience that we associate with negative emotions or negativity, toxicity, etc. I hope I'm making sense because I feel like it always takes me a few minutes to settle into podcasting. So if I sound like I'm all over the place, just bear with me. I think that you get the drift. And what I'm trying to say is that when we are out of alignment, when we are not feeling who we truly are, because we all are warriors, we are the universe, and the universe is expansive. And without going into too much crazy woo-woo stuff, I know a lot of you are woo-woo, but I also have people that are not necessarily, they don't identify as woo-woo yet. They might be woo-curious, right? If that's you, raise your hand. I'm not going to be able to see you, but I trust that you will. So I want to make this episode approachable and easy to understand for everybody. So knowing that you are infinite possibility, knowing that you are expansive, and knowing that you are who you are. And then we have all this programming, we have all this stuff that comes in our world from parenting and society and expectations and rules that chip away at our wholeness. And that's what creates that feeling of being stressed and stuck, or having physical illness, or not having the money. And I'm here to help you dismantle all that so that you can be whole, so that you can be expansive, so that you can be who you truly are, so that you can have the life that you desire. And it is possible. I have people in my life, and I'm sure we all do, that say this is not possible, it's too idealistic. And I'm here to tell you that it's 100% possible, 100% of the time. Now, that's not to say that we won't slip into our human stuff. I still slip into my human stuff on a daily basis. And all of that human stuff, i.e. the 3D, the struggle, the disempowerment, the negative emotions, when we have that as an invitation to get to know ourselves better and learn more about ourselves so that we can get through that, have gratitude for all that is coming up and all that it is teaching us so that we can move on and elevate. And let's face it, warriors, it's 2021 at the time of this recording. It's time to wake up. And so many of us are walking around asleep. And if you're on this podcast, if you've gotten to this far in the podcast, or perhaps you've just started listening recently, you know that this podcast is not just your everyday podcast about personal growth. It goes beyond, because, okay, I might go on a tangent here. I was on Clubhouse recently, and I'm still getting my feet wet in Clubhouse. At some point, I think that I will be using it more. I'm pretty sure I will be using it more because I think it's a really brilliant platform. But I was on this entrepreneur group that's very popular. It was probably the first one that I signed up on Clubhouse. And they were talking about hard work and hustle. And I was just... Now, I know people that have hard worked and they've hustled and they've been successful. I know plenty of people that way. Now, some people have been ultra successful, and some people have not been successful, and some people have been maybe mediocre successful. And what I'm coming to realize, and what I'm sharing more and more on this podcast, is that hard work and hustle are not necessary ingredients for high-level success. Because when you get into alignment and when you become empowered, not to say that you can just sit on your couch and watch Netflix and be passive. It's not about that, because we still need to, in order to be successful, we're given the gift of free will, right? So it is necessary to do the things, but we can do it smarter. We can do it smarter. We can work smarter and work less and be in alignment and not be so exhausted, because so many entrepreneurs are freaking exhausted. I was one of those people. I had adrenal fatigue, which I'm still recovering from, by the way. Hormonal imbalances, which I'm still recovering from. I honestly have to thank the pandemic for allowing me the opportunity to rest and give myself a break. Lots and lots of silver linings about the pandemic. But I was one of those people too, so I totally get it. I totally get both sides. I totally understand the mindset of an overdoer and a stressed out person. And what I've realized as all of this unravels is that I'm more of those things than I ever thought I was. So trust me, when you're hearing this and you say either it's not possible or it's hard to get out of these paradigms, I get you. I get you. I truly do get you, because I have been there and am still learning how to find my fire every single day. It's a choice and it's a responsibility that I've chosen to take on. And I'm sharing this with you because I want you to know that I understand. Because sometimes I get feedback from people sometimes who think, they make comments like, oh, you probably don't understand this because your diet is perfect. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that, where people think my diet is perfect or I'm a vegetarian, because especially when I was practicing acupuncture, a lot of people thought I was a vegetarian. The stereotypes, it happens. But anyway, I digress. That is actually the reason why I wanted to come on here today, is because I want to talk about the FIRE in Reclaim Your F.I.R.E. And if you listened last week, you'll know that FIRE stands for financial abundance, inner peace, radiance and resiliency, and energy balance. So today I want to talk about the F in FIRE, and that is financial abundance. And before I go further, I pulled a card because I felt that I needed a little bit of guidance from my higher self, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to guide me during this episode. And the card I pulled was from Tosha Silver's, her new deck. Actually, it came out about 3 or 4 months ago. It's called Divine Abundance. And I don't know if you're familiar with Tosha Silver. She's an author. She wrote It's Not Your Money. It's a really good book. And now she has a card deck. So the one I pulled out of her deck is called True Offering. And I thought this was so perfect because, as you probably already know, this podcast is all about service and empowering warriors and empowering business leaders and entrepreneurs. But it's about empowerment and getting out of our stuff so that we can be empowered and live the lives that we dream of. So this is my offering to you, my true offering. And I'm just going to read the bottom of the card. True offering takes what can be an unbearable cross and returns it to love. True offering takes what can be an unbearable cross and returns it to love. So, speaking of an unbearable cross, let's talk about money, shall we? So, I know that a lot of you that are listening are probably healers like myself, because like attracts like. I had an acupuncture practice. I had an acupuncture practice for 12 years in Boston, 10 years in Boston, and 3 years in Acton, Massachusetts. And I understand the healer, the helping professional mentality. And I want to tell you, because I've been in conversation and I've been having these conversations, what seems like nonstop, since as far as I can remember, but when talking specifically about being in the helping profession, I have been in conversation about money and charging money for the services that we offer and how much to charge and how much is considered too much. It's never really about not charging enough. Often, if you're in the healing professionals, whether you're an acupuncturist, chiropractor, Reiki practitioner, in a profession that helps other people, my guess is at some point you've struggled with your rates. Oh, and then when it comes to raising your rates, yeah, that brings out a totally different monster, doesn't it? How much should I charge? And are my patients, this was my favorite, this is one that I'm guilty of, are my patients going to leave if they find out that I raise my rates by $10? And usually in my practice, that's how much I did it. I think I raised my prices 3, maybe 4 times in 12 or 13 years. The first time I did it, I was probably, I started in 2008. I think I raised my prices for the first time in 2011, 2012. So it was at least 3 years. And then the next one was probably 3 or 4 more years. And then the last 2 were done more recently. I'm trying to, I don't remember the exact dates, but I know that the first time I raised my prices, I waited many, many years. And I was unhappy. I was not happy about what I was charging, but I felt that there was this stigma around what an acupuncturist should charge for a treatment. I knew what a lot of my colleagues and what they were charging, and I felt that it was not ethical to charge any more than this window. And here's the thing, okay? And this is kind of the messed up thing about it all, is that acupuncturists, like so many helping professionals, therapists, chiropractors, were schooled for like 4 years. And this is after undergraduate school. So acupuncturists are in grad school for 3 to 4 years. We pay 6 figures in tuition while we're in school. Many of us do, or close to that. A lot of us are in student loan debt. And we come out of school with this amazing skill, which is becoming more and more recognized because the Western medical community cannot address everything, because why should they be responsible for every single thing that goes wrong with us, right? That's why it's called complementary medicine. We have the doctors and we have the massage therapists and the chiropractors and the physical therapists and the Reiki practitioners and craniosacral acupuncturists, Pilates instructors. They're all here to assist us in helping to better our health. And for some reason, we as acupuncturists, and I know there's other practitioners of other modalities that are guilty of this too, we feel guilty when it comes to raising our prices. So I want to just talk about this a little bit. And I know that there's coaches who listen. I know that there's moms who listen and all kinds of folks. But if you're still listening at this time, I'm about 15 minutes into the episode, you're probably curious about financial abundance, aren't you? And chances are you have stories that come from your upbringing, that money doesn't grow on trees, and money is hard to come by, and you have to work hard for your money, and all the things, right? All the stories, and that the life that we live is supposed to be of struggle and hard and all of the things. So I just want to talk to you about this a little bit more because I want to shed light on money, because I think you're going to recognize, if you haven't recognized already, that money isn't about all the stereotypes, the greed, and that wanting money is greedy. Unfortunately, that could have been true before, that the money was in the hands of maybe people that weren't always very intentional or didn't have the best interests of people when they had money. But that's changing. Money is a tool that is here to help more people. And I would like for you to imagine, especially if you're in the healing arts, a healing professional, that if you have financial abundance, what is possible for you in your life and what is possible for others. Because let me tell you this, I've talked about this a few times in the podcast. How many times has somebody asked you to borrow money, and this is somebody that legitimately needed help? Maybe it was a GoFundMe page or an opportunity to give back, and you were not able to do it because you didn't have the funds. Okay, that's one example. And I know that there's people that are listening that are saying money isn't everything. I mean, I grew up hearing that money isn't everything, and not money doesn't always buy happiness, right? You know all the slogans. But knowing that this podcast is about shifting paradigms and shifting our beliefs that we've had often since we were born. We were born with these beliefs, basically, right? They're ingrained. What is possible if you choose to start changing your beliefs and writing a new story? And in this case, writing a new story about money and choosing to use money as a tool that is going to not only help grow and evolve you, but grow and evolve the people that you're surrounded by. And also, we live in a world where we have so many opportunities. There's so many opportunities to have nice things and go on nice vacations and stay in a nice hotel. Why not do those things? Why not stay in a really nice hotel or fly first class? Just imagine going on a vacation and flying first class or business class. Imagine how good that would feel. And that, warriors, is what financial abundance is all about. That is what doing this work from the inside out will afford you. Reclaiming your fire, getting that fire in your life, that financial abundance, inner peace, radiance, and energy balance. Now, when I had my acupuncture practice, I felt very, very limited with how I help people. And that is because to only work with the physical body, to only address physical symptoms, even though Chinese medicine is very holistic and it treats mind, body, and spirit. But if you go from the angle of, okay, we're gonna get rid of your headache only, and you don't consider the rest of the being, chances are that patient, and this happened in my practice, people would come back because their condition wasn't completely resolved because we only worked on the physical symptoms. So working with the physical body, working with energy alignment, working with your higher self, the spirituality, all those things is what is going to help you warriors reclaim your fire and gain financial abundance. I don't want to make this episode too long, but I want to leave you with this thought, and that is, especially if you are not where you want to be financially, and I'm not saying that you are, I have all kinds of people who listen. I have people who struggle financially, and then I have people who identify as doing pretty well. But where are you in your financial goals? Now, chances are you feel that you have more to go in your life. So where are you going to be in another year if you continue to not consider your finances as an important aspect of your success in life? Where are you going to be in a year from now? Because I'll tell you, I hear this a lot from my colleagues. They're always worried about money. They're always worried about what things cost. Not everybody, but many of them. And it comes down to where you are at in your prosperity consciousness. And if you come from a place, whether it's how you were raised, the stories you were told about money, if you come from that place and you're still living those stories, all the mantras and the positive affirmations, and even if you go to like a Tony Robbins seminar for a few days, that will last temporarily, but it's the same thing as the acupuncture treatment. If I'm only treating the physical body and not the mind, body, and spirit, that doesn't present for lasting change, does it? So that's why in Reclaim Your Fire, I look at the whole picture. I get down and dirty with clients, and we get into those limited beliefs that keep us stuck in our financial affairs, and we work on transmuting all that. So if this resonates with you, I invite you to get on a call with me. Right now I'm offering 1 hour calls. The 1 hour is like, coaching call. We get into your business, and you will be amazed by what you can accomplish in just 1 hour. If I know you, I know that you want more in life. I know you're successfully driven. You want more. You want to live your dream life. You want to, you want the beach house, or you want the vacation home, or whatever it is, the Tesla. Now it's time to choose you. And that involves tapping into who you truly are, working through the stories, working through all the crap that we are programmed with and we're still carrying around in our lives, and being an empowered warrior. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and let me know what your takeaways are on Instagram. I am Angela Noel, and I hope you have an amazing day, week, evening, wherever you're at, whenever you're listening to this. And until next time, warrior, take care. Thank you so much for listening to the Empowered Warrior podcast. It is an honor and a privilege to have you as a listener. If you've enjoyed listening to this podcast and would like to help others pave their pathway to freedom, end their disempowerment and suffering, and become an empowered warrior, please share this podcast with your friends and family. Also, it is my intention to help humanity grow and evolve to their highest potential. So if you really enjoy what you're hearing, please help me spread the word by leaving a review in iTunes. Thank you again, and I am so grateful to be able to serve you in this very exciting way.